Is you gonna think the granola bar look good? Or you gonna be thinking something else?
My mom was dating this guy when they both went to work. Bro, I must have snuck in there, went through his bag because I was trying to steal some Goon footage. Go through his duffel bag, open it up. I see all these Goon DVDs. I changed my name. I was like, one day I was like, damn, this Dale Wilson shit, it ain't working for me. She was like, you're just too jealous. I kind of want to end the relationship. I said, she's trying to break up with me. I said, I was literally just up there washing my car. So he came to ask me again when I was up there 2 days later. Hey bro, you think that I could help wash your car for $4 or $5 so I can get myself something to eat? All I got is the $5. Yeah, but it only costs $2.50 to wash. All I got is the $5.
I was like, yeah, whoever the keep calling her motherfucking phone. I said, you keep calling her phone, you have to deal with me, you bitch ass. Stop calling her phone, bitch. Yeah, you ain't gonna do shit, bitch ass. Your girl a hoe anyway. This such and such bloods, blah blah blah. This blood.
I'm not even gonna front. My eyes watering a little bit. Yo, Hearts Uneasy with the 10 gifters though to hit that motherfucking goal? Oh. Shit. Yo, that nigga can't. That's 08 Wayne. Yo, I'm not even gonna front. My eyes watering a little bit. I'm not even gonna sit over here and cap for you guys. Hold up, man. My motherfucking eyes water. Y'all niggas don't know. Yo, what the fuck is wrong with me, bro? This shit weird. Liquid Emotion? Yeah, it'll be in there. You know, last time I had Liquid Emotion involved with anything that comes to media meaning a movie, music, or anything, was Passion of the Christ. Okay, yeah, Nip too. But we talking about media, like not somebody dying. We talking about media, bro. Oh yeah, there was a time too where I was getting top and a bitch went to go eat my ass and started stroking my D at the same time like she was twisting the top of a bottle cap. Felt like I was just gonna pass out and cry. I was like, shit like that. But besides that, like, you know, bitch had me handcuffed to the bed. I couldn't even do anything. Had my fucking hands handcuffed to fucking the bed. Had my legs handcuffed. Forcefully eating my ass while topping me off at the same time and sucking balls. I'm just like, like I'm like this. Just like laid like like is it like you didn't know you don't know if you want to faint because you can't do anything, but you're just like you're not supposed to be liking it, but you know, when you're tied up to all 4 bedposts, what are you gonna do? I'll never forget, man. I remember the first time my mom was dating this guy, like back in like the Dreamcast days, right? Bro, I must have snuck in there when they both went to work, went through his bag because I was trying to steal some Goon footage because he used to have all the Goon DVDs. So I break in there with a card. Breaking the car, like door opens, boom. Start going through shit, going to the bed, don't see shit. Going through shit, go through his duffel bag, open it up. I see all these Goon DVDs. I'm like, cool, grab one, boom. But then I opened it up more, seen something that looked like a bong. I was like, what the fuck is this? Look it up. Yeah, crust around the bottom. I'm like, shit was a whole penis pump. I'm like, then this nigga blowing up his dick. Reptar Land, shout out for the 10 months. That was the first time I ever seen one. Nigga thought he was slick with a fake BBC, walking around with a fake BBC. Found his penis pump. Alright, so when I was 16, I was like, that was my first girlfriend. Like, it was, to me, that was like to me, to this day, that's still one of the best looking bitches I ever had. That's how you know beauty is not a norm. Because if it was, how could I go from 16 to now without basically only like, you know what I'm saying? There's not too many sexy ass bitches out. So basically I had this girlfriend at 16 and she, when I first got with her, she was like, I have something I want to tell you. I think I told you guys a piece of this story. She was like, before we like take anything serious, I have something to tell you. I was like, and what's that? She was just like, whoa, you know who Dee Dee is? I said, yeah, what about her? Like, what about her? Yeah. She's like, well, she's probably going to tell you some bullshit, but there was this one time that she was over my house and we were kicking it. And then she called over these two guys. Yeah. Yeah. Some people are going to remember, some people aren't. But the real question is, do you want me to continue? There's going to be some people. Hold on, I'm going to tell you why I thought of the Tupac song. She was like, yeah, so she's like, remember I told you about like Dee Dee like putting me in like a f***ed up situation? I was just like, yeah, why? I was like, why? What's going on? Like, yeah, I thought you guys were friends. She's like, well, we're not friends. She's like, I have like an ongoing case going on right now. I was like, well, tell me the story. She was like, I don't know if I want to tell you because I really don't want to lose you. Nah, this had nothing to do with Dela Cruz. This had nothing to do with Dela Cruz. This ain't a bathtub story or anything like that. So she basically told me that she was friends with this girl. She said they were kicking it. And her story was, the other girl's story was, hold on, I'm going to tell you her story and I'm going to tell you the other girl's story. Her story was, she was like, we were just hanging out. My dad wasn't home because, you know, my dad always works. And she called these two guys over and she named like two black ass names. It was like Malik and Khalik. Some like ghetto ass bullshit. Malik and Shaheen or some bullshit. Nah, she wasn't white. She was black and Mexican. Khalik. Muslim. Sorry about that. I said Muslim. So it was like Khalik and Shaheen or some, you know, yeah, some weird ghetto shit. So I was like, okay, and what happened? She was like, well, they came over. We were all hanging out. And then like, before you know it, like I go upstairs to get something and they come in the room after me and they close the door. I was just like, okay, they closed the door and what? You know, I'm extra young, naive. Like, I don't know how bitches work. Like, I believe I'm supposed to marry this woman. Like, you know, I really thought this was going to be my wifey. So she was like, they come in the room and close the door. And then she just like paused and I was just like, well, are you going to continue the story? Like, what happened? Like, just please tell me. And then she's just like, I don't know if I should tell you. I said, well, you got me this far. Just like, please tell me. I'm not going to say no names. But she's like, please. I was like, please tell me. She's like, all right. She says, so basically what happened, like they got me in the room and they basically just had their way with me. And I was like, I went like this and I had my hands. And I said, what do you mean? I said, what do you mean they had their way with you? And then she was just like, they raped me. And you know me, I'm being an immature ass kid, right? So I'm like, what do you mean they raped you? And she's like, they both like did stuff to me and blah, blah, blah. I was like, did stuff? I was like, so I said, one of them you from the back. This is exactly what I said. I said, one of them you from the back while you had to give the other one head? And then she was like, yes. I said, what else did you have to do? She was like, I had to suck both of their dicks at the same time. And I was just like, oh. And I think I like cried or some shit with her. I was like, are you serious, baby? I was like, you serious? Like, I'll kill these motherfuckers. You serious, baby? Like, what's going on? Like, I'm like, that's what she said. Now, hold on, guys. Nothing about a woman being taken advantage of is funny. I think all rapists that are convicted should by the worst brutal, dicks cut off, tortured in the worst ways, wrap you in barbed wire, kick you down a hill, put lighter fluid on you, light you on fire. So that I was just asking her everything. I asked her like, did they both bust on her? She said they nutted on her, all types of shit. Both busted on her. She had to suck both their dicks at one time, all types of shit. So throughout the whole time, I would like keep asking her about it because I wasn't sure how it happened. So I remember I asked her friend, the one she was blaming it on. I asked her, I was like, so I said, Dee Dee, let me ask you a question. She's like, what you want from me? You already chose her. I was just like, well, she's I said, listen, let me just ask you something as like a homie. Like, the story Jenny told me is, you know, you care. Yeah, we'll just say her name's Jenny. I was like, well, she told me a story that you guys were hanging out. You called a couple guys over and they basically her. And then she was like, hey, you stupid. She was like, I called them over and she both of them. I was like, what do you mean she both of them? She like, did I stutter? She's like, she both of them. She's like, she wanted me to call them over. She's like, why would I call two over knowing her dad is at work? Like, why would I do that? She's like, I called the homies over. She had a crush on both of them. They ran a train on her. I was just like, I said, nah, but I said, look, I said, be real. I said, be real, some real shit, homie to homie. I said, so you're telling me that shit was consensual? She's like, I swear on my dead grandmother. She was like, I called them two over there for her. She fucked both of them. She one of them, then the other one. Then both of them went in the room and they both ran the train on her. So it wasn't no rape shit going on. She's like, I didn't make up no bullshit. Why you think I'm not in jail now? She's like, why you think the two ain't in jail? I was just like, damn. And I was just kicking back, and it just shocked the out of me. Like, I would always ask her questions like, are you sure this, that? At that point, I was just fucked up over about. I would ask her like, yeah, who are these niggas? Like, I didn't say niggas back then. I was like, who are these fools? How did you meet them? Like, how the fuck did these fools get in your house to fuck? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I didn't say back then, I said fool. So she's like, I keep telling you it's an ongoing case, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm going to court. The whole time I knew her, she never went to court. These niggas never got convicted or anything. Now, if we're both 16 years old and you have a dad that knows about this story, why the fuck wouldn't these two niggas be locked up for rape? So the longer it went on, the more I believed that because she was just like too freaky for being 16. Like, that's how I first learned how to eat pussy, by the way, too. Like, I used to watch a lot of porn when I was 16. So I had a sexy ass girlfriend at the time. I was like, I want to try something on you. She's like, and what's that? I said, I want to eat your pussy. She's like, all right. And she took off her pants. I didn't know how to eat pussy. I was slobbing all over the clit, eating the hole. I didn't even know how to eat vagina. I was like, she's like, wait a minute. She's like, put your tongue right here. She's like, you feel that little ball? I said, yeah, I feel it. She's like, put your tongue right there and just like move it back and forth. So I'm just sitting there and I put my tongue on it. And I'm like, and she's like, oh my God, just keep going. I'm like, and I just keep doing it. She's like, oh my God. She just starts shaking. I didn't even know what an orgasm was at that point in time. Like, yeah, I got dome and shit at 11 and everything, and knew about like fucking around with chicks here and there, like when I was a kid, but I didn't know like what it meant. Then after that, I just got fascinated with eating vagina. Like, after that, I just loved eating for the rest of my life. So basically, what happened was these niggas started calling her. We would be out chilling. People would call her cell phone. She'd be like, oh my gosh, it's Shaheen and Malik. I said, I was like, why are they calling you if there's a case out? Why don't you just call the cops right now? And then she was just like, I already called the cops. They keep calling me from random numbers. So the niggas kept calling her, leaving voicemails like, hey, I want to know if we can kick it again, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what do you mean kick it again? Why are they saying this if there's an ongoing case? I was stupid. So what did I do? I, tried to be a thug and tried to sound hard on the phone. And this is what I did. This is what I basically did. I went on her voicemail. I was like, I'm tired of these motherfuckers calling you, blah, blah, blah. So I went on her voicemail. You know how everybody used to like, remember how on your voicemails, you would always leave a song? So this is exactly what I said. I'll just let this part play. I was like, yeah, whoever the keep calling her motherfucking phone, you bitch ass. I was like, stop calling her motherfucking phone, nigga. I said, you keep calling her phone, you gonna have to deal with me, you bitch ass, racist ass. Stop fucking calling her phone, bitch. Yo, she was. Yeah, exactly. Made a fool of herself. So
We basically, me and the dudes would be basically phone banging back and forth on voicemails and shit, and I would always leave a different voice message. I don't remember what I said after that. I would always leave different. Was like, stop calling my girl phone, bitch ass. Blah, blah. I would like get extra ghetto, but that was never me. I was never the kid that thought I was a thug or anything. Like, I would always try to fake it to be extra. So like, I would leave something on her voicemail, and then the niggas would leave a message like, yeah, you ain't gonna do shit, bitch. This is exactly what one of them said. Like, yeah, you ain't gonna do shit, bitch ass. Your girl a hoe anyway. You ain't gonna do shit over here, homie. Blah blah blah. This such and such bloods. Blah blah blah. This bloods. You don't even want to smoke. Blah blah. Whatever the used to be said back then. I think want to smoke still was a thing. Like, the smoke is some old shit. So they would basically leave messages banging on me, and then I would basically just go back on her voicemails, say more shit, and it just been back and forth, and to the point where I just forgot about it. Nah, she never admitted it. She never admitted that it was fake. Leave her alone. How did I leave her? I told you guys a simp story how we ended, right? I know I told you the simp story. Do I still know her? She got like 3 kids now, married to a Mexican dude, living her best life. She's still a beautiful woman, though. I'm not even on front. She's still a beautiful woman to this day, 3 kids and all. Well, they're not really creative. This is just shit that actually happened. Like, a lot of shit happened in my life. Nah, this wasn't the one that I don't think she cheated on me from what I know. But, nah, this isn't the science class story. That's a totally different bitch. This isn't the middle of the class crying. So basically, since that was my first girl that I thought was fire, sexy, like, I was really obsessed with this chick. Like, I really thought that I was gonna wife this bitch and have kids and everything with her. Excuse me, she ain't no bitch. Cause she grew up to be just a straight up like woman, like no thirst trapping, none of that type of shit. Like, she's really a solidified actual woman with 3 kids, married, all that. I'm so actually proud of her. But basically, I was such a jealous. I'm a Scorpio, right? So most motherfuckers that are Scorpios are simps and don't. Like, there's different types of Scorpios. Like me, I used to be that simp Scorpio, heart on my sleeve type of thing, right? But now I'm like a savage Scorpio. I'm all about me. It's all about my money, success. All I care about is me. I'm 100% selfish because of what the world did to me with my experiences. But I used to be that simp Scorpio. Think I'm gonna marry every bitch, fall in love with every bitch. This is my wifey, my baby, ooh, type of shit. So basically I was obsessed with this chick. She was my first fire piece. I thought I was gonna wife her, marry her, everything. I thought she was gonna have my kids. I thought we was gonna have mixed kids, everything, boom. And I was real jealous. I was real fucking jealous, man. Like, of course, I was 16. Like, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was real jealous. I didn't want her around nobody. I always wanted to be around her. I wanted to see where she was at 24/7, calling her, things like that. Shit, I wouldn't give a. I don't give a fuck what a bitch does now. But I was trying to keep track of her, this and that. I remember like it was yesterday. She was like, this is the conversation that led to us being eventually over. I was like, I was on the phone with her and she's like, can I call you back? I was like, why? I was like, did you get another call? She's like, yeah, I got another call, but it's Joe. She said Joe was her best friend, some short midget ass black nigga that I had no reason to be threatened by or anything like that. But, you know, I was a simp back then. So I was like, damn, so you're just gonna hang up the phone with me for Joe? And then she was just like, I mean, he just wants to tell me something. He is my friend. Like, it's not even like that. Like, I don't even know why you're having a problem with it, blah, blah, blah. Like, just, I'm gonna call you back when I'm done talking to Joe. Like, I've been knowing him and his parents for years, blah, blah, blah. I was like, man, all right, whatever. She's like, what's your problem? I was just like, man, I just don't see why the fuck you gotta hang up with me for Joe. Like, if that's your best friend, you could always talk to him. Like, I'm your fucking boyfriend. Like, blah, blah, blah. And we was just going back and forth, arguing this and that, arguing back and forth, blah, blah, blah. We're arguing back and forth. And she's like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna call you back. I was like, all right, please. Yeah, please call me back after. I said, so we can finish this. She's like, whatever. We get off the phone. I'm just kicking it, you know, kind of pacing back and forth, waiting for her to call me. That's how you know you used to be a simp. I used to be staring at my phone, waiting for bitches to text back. I used to be staring at my phone, waiting for bitches to call. Like, I'd just be sitting here like, man, I remember downloading apps that gave me different types of notifications. Like, some phones used to have a blue indicator light, so I used to like download an app that had a different indicator light. So if I just seen my phone like this, I wouldn't even pick that shit up if it didn't have a pink indicator light. I was just like, I would basically sit around waiting for bitches to text, waiting for bitches to call and text. So she finally calls back. I answer the phone 1.5 phrases. I was like, hello? And then she was just like, yeah, we gotta talk. And I was just like, all right, well, talk about what? What's up? You want to finish the conversation we were having? And then she was just like, I kind of want to end the relationship. I was like, what the fuck do you mean in a relationship? My voice got real trembly. I was like, what the fuck do you mean in a relationship? She was like, you're just too jealous. Like, you're just always asking me what I'm doing. I keep telling you I'm not cheating on you. You just don't trust me. She's like, it's over. And I was like, what the fuck do you mean it's over? I was like, are you serious? And then my mom was in the fucking kitchen. And she comes out, she's like, why are you hollering? I said, Mom, I said, she's trying to break up with me. I said, I can't believe this shit. I was like, please don't break up with me. I was like, please don't break up with me, please. I was like, I'm sorry, I won't be jealous no more. That's just, please don't break up with me. And I'm just rolling on the ground, acting like a bitch. And I'm just crying, yelling. I'm like, I'm just on my knees, like dead ass on my knees, like, please don't break up with me. Telling her I loved her, all that type of bullshit. Boom. She's like, you know what? I gotta go. I'm just on the ground, just bawling in tears. Like, hold up. I'm on the ground, just bawling in tears, like, in a fetal position. My mom's like, boy, get off the ground, get off the ground. I was like, I can't believe she burned. It's like, you know what? You just gonna have to deal with it. You just gonna have to learn how to deal with this. It's not gonna be the first time. Blah, blah, blah. It's just one girl. I'm like, I couldn't even talk. I was just shook in a fetal position, just shaking, crying, trembling. Man. Yo, Dex is a rider though. He didn't even get off the bed. Good boy. He's like, what the f going on? I'm good, boy. I'm not sad. You good. No, I can't pet Dex without petting you, jealous. So basically, after that, I was like up for a long time. Like, I think it took me 2 years to get over that chick. And let me tell you guys the most simp things that I would do. Does my mom know that I used to be a simp? Yeah, of course she know what I went through. That's why when I told her last week that marriage was out of the question, she's like, you have been through a lot, so I don't blame you, but she's like, I hope one day I'm going to get some grandkids. I was just like, I mean, you'll get those. But I said, honestly, Mom, I said, I just can't wife no chick up. Like, I can't marry nobody, but you could, one day, hopefully you'll get those grandkids, you know? So I did the most simp shit. I swear to God, I did this for like 2 fucking years. I would go outside of my door and I would kiss stars, hoping that one day we were going to get back together. I would just, every day, I would go outside of my fucking door and be like, I love you, blah, blah, blah. I swear to God, for 2 years straight, every fucking night, I went outside the door and kissed stars, hoping that... Yes, for 2 years straight. I was fucked up over that a very long time. From 16 to 18, my heart was completely broken. I was done for. That's when that's when I just started just fucking a gang of different bitches and all types of shit. But anyways, so every night, I swear, every night I would go out and kiss stars. And I would just pray I seen a shooting one, and I would just wish that we were back together. I'd kiss stars. I'd be like, God, please let us get back together one day, please. Go outside, do my ritual, kiss the stars. Kiss different stars. Sometimes I would go out to like the fucking Orion's belt or whatever, give like double kisses. And here's another thing I did. For 2 years straight, on her birthday, Christmas, all that, I would send roses to her door, cards, chocolates. I knew where she lived, so I would just like, I'll ask my mom to drop me off so she could. I'd be like, Mom, please, can you please drop, can we please road past such and such's house so I could drop off these flowers, so I could drop off these chocolates? And I was just like dropping off letters, poetry. Yes, I kept trying to win this chick back, and she never called me. In fact, I kept hearing stories about her with this new dude that I thought we were friends or whatever. I kept hearing her with this new dude. Then I started hearing all these ratted stories about busting on her mouth inside of the movie theater. And just after that, after her reputation got tarnished, I gave it up, started fucking a gang of hoes. Yeah, I don't think I really had like 100% faithful relationship. Yeah, I tried it with the bitch that played me when I was the science class, but I don't think I had 100%. When I say 100% faithful, I'm talking about no bitches, 100% squeaky clean to the point where I'm not even friends with hoes, nothing. I haven't had a relationship like that since, where I only talk to one bitch, even on a friend level. There ain't no friends. It's just me and my bitch. I haven't had a relationship since. And then, like I said, and I told you guys plenty of stories, like bad shit always happens to me with bitches. So, of course, I'm not going to give a about any new shit that pop, because I've been through the ringer before. I've been through the motherfucking ringer before. That's why I don't give a and I know how these bitches operate. But yeah, I'm telling you guys, man, I used to be the master simp. I really don't know what I could do for you. There was this black dude. I was putting my water or something like that, or I was in the trunk of my car leaving the gym, and this old ass black dude pulled up on me. He's like, "Yo, bro," he's like, "Can I talk to you for a second, man?" I was like, "For sure." This wasn't in shape, had no business asking me about fitness, telling me about fitness, not a goddamn thing. But you know, old heads feel like they always want to tell you something. Yeah, thank you, mods. Old heads always feel like they want to tell you something. He's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, the first thing I see when I pull up, he's like, "Yeah, man, I see the physique." He's like, "The physique right, man, the physique right." But he's like, "Man, do you stretch?" I said, "Yeah, I stretch." I said, "Have I always stretched?" No, but I said, "Do I stretch more frequently now?" I said, "Yeah." He's like, "Yeah, man, because us brothers, man, see, the thing is, we got to stretch, man." I was just like, the fuck? Like, I'm ready to go. Long story short, he asked me what I do and all that type of shit. I just said I do entertainment. He said, I'm looking at what you whipping, man. He said, "You do entertainment?" He's like, "Man, you look like you doing real well for yourself, man." You're like, and he started asking me questions, and the way I'm articulating my words and coming out the mouth, it turned into a goddamn therapy session. He was asking me questions. He's like, "Yeah, man, so you look like a well put together brother. Like, you know, you said you do entertainment." He's like, "So what's one of the things that, like," he said, "does any of that affect you?" I said, "Well, here's the thing." I said, "Why would I let something affect me that's meant or created or said to affect me?" And he sat back and leaned against his car. He's like, "Oh, god damn." He was like, "I never thought about it like that." He's like, "Because I'm going through some trouble right now. Well, you know, one of my baby mamas, I got 3 sons. They grown. One trying to get in the league. One work at Big Lots. One do this, one do that." He's like, "I ain't never thought about it like that before." He's like, "If it's meant to affect you, you don't let it affect you." He's like, "Damn, brother." And I'm just like, then pulled up to ask me if I stretch and left. Like, it was more to the story, but I'm not going to get all off into it, because basically it just turned into me giving therapy. I'm just like, you gonna pull up on me asking me if I stretch, and then you leave with a therapy session? Like, "Man, take down my number, man." He's like, "Man, if you ever got some positive words or something like that, you can feed to me, man." He said, "Because you seem to be in a right state of mind." And he said, "Man, let me ask you one question. What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?" I said, "Feed my body." I said, "I don't look at my phone directly. I prepare my first meal of the day, manifest what I'm going to do, write down what I'm going to do, get shit ready what I'm going to do, focused on my task, and then I look at my phone, and then I get my day started." He's like, "Damn." He's like, "Me, man." He said, I'm beating a Newport addiction. I'm just thinking in my head, what's all over for you? Like, you know, you a old head and you still got problems with and you talk about. He said he lost a job he had for 2 weeks. He was making $6 grand every 2 weeks. Lost the job. I'm like, look, he's got to start paying me, because as soon as I say one sentence that they off tops, they can sense the IQ level and start want to ask me a million questions. I'm just like, before I knew it, it was 1:30 gone out of my day. And I'm just like, I start jingling my keys and shit, ready to go. Like, all right, man, don't want to hold you, this and that. But he's like, yeah, man, just take down my number, please, man. Like, if there's any words of manifestation, anything like that, he's like, shoot it to me, man. I need that. I'm just like, I said, all right, for sure. You gonna pull up asking me do I stretch, which is weird, and then you left with a full therapy session for free. Bro, I'm telling you, we some of the most fascinating, hilarious on earth. Nah, I never hit this up. The look like texting an old head talking about have blessings today or wake up and do something positive. What the You guys, let me ask you this. How many of you guys know why I'm so outspoken? Who has the answer? Exactly. The reason why I'm so outspoken now is because I spent so many years of my life being quiet and and being regretful of never speaking up. Ever. Like, my jaw used to hurt. I used to want to talk and say things, but I was such a quiet kid and my jaw used to like tremble and hurt because I just didn't know how to get it out. And how I got out of that stigma is I changed my name. I was like, one day I was like, you know what? Damn, this Dale Wilson shit, it ain't working for me. I got fear in me as far as like persevering. I can't act in this character, not like act, but I can't exert being this person. So I changed my fucking name. And from that point on, that's when I started to change. As soon as I flipped my name, boom. And that's why I hate my government name, because it doesn't represent who I am now. That's why I got rid of that. I got DeLon because I wanted a different play on my government name. That's why. You niggas at this point, y'all niggas know my government name, but you know I don't go by it. And I'm going to legally change my name. That name holds no legacy to me. The last name holds no legacy to me. You keep your last name when you actually had a father to impress. But if you didn't, then change your shit. Change your legacy.
Oh yeah, that shit I said. All I got is the 5. Yo, hey, bro. Hey, gang. You think that you could, you think I could help get $4 or $5 to help wash your car for you? Mind you, I was like, I'll say it again. I was literally just up there washing my car the day before. So the nigga definitely knew what I looked like. So he came and asked me again when I was up there 2 days later. Oh, I'm cool. I don't got the extra 5 because I just came up here to wash my car. Every time I wash a car, I only use a $5 bill because I don't carry no motherfucking cash. You see me again. Hey, bro, you think that I could help wash your car for $4 or $5 so I can get myself something to eat? All I got is the 5. Yeah, but it only costs $2.50 to wash. That's all you need to put in there to activate the machine. All I got is the 5. That's it. Like, what more you want me to say? Like, I'm not gonna fucking break my damn 5. How would I have broken the 5 if all I got is the 5? I didn't have like $5. I had a $5 bill. The fuck? Then I already told you he had the Ben and Jerry's on literally the day before when he asked me in the first place. If I'm washing my vehicle, I don't need help. That's the reason why I went there. If I want my vehicle serviced, like washing and vacuuming, I'll go to one of these Hispanic spots that just do the best detailing job, and I will pay for it. But if I'm doing it myself with my own manual labor, why the fuck would I need you to help me do it? I don't need you to help me fucking detail my vehicle. If I want to detail, you know, like on some extracurricular shit, I will go to a fucking top tier spot. You buy a shirt that says all I got is the 5. All I got is the 5.
I'm gonna tell a bedtime story. Let me think of something. Hold on. Once upon a time, there was a boy, not yet a man, who had identity issues. These identity issues caused this particular boy to desert his childhood friends in search of to be cool amongst a certain crowd of people. He was tired of being a dweeb, a dork, a geek, a nerd, because, you know, it just wasn't cool back then. And one day in 9th grade, or was it 10th? Let's revert. 9th grade, he got tired of being all of those I just labeled. And he said, you know what? When I go back to high school, when I go back to be a sophomore, things are going to change. My grades are going to get better, but this time I'm going to get bitches. I'm going to be a popular style of individual. Not to mention my friend that was a year younger was going to be coming to high school with me, so I had another guy where we could try to conquer the swaggertree back then. And you know, my friends that I deserted, they were still what they were. Geeks, went to the Dragon Ball Z room on lunch. Nerds, no girls were attracted to them, so on and so forth. Didn't have any style, didn't want to evolve. They're still kind of the way they are today, but I still talk to those guys. Those are my actual friends. I ran from them. I literally ran from them. They seen me beginning of the school year, and I ran. And I hid, and I ran, and every day I ran till they stopped looking for me. And so, you know what, I'm gonna kick it over there in that crowd. If I stand over there, I'll be cool. I'll get bitches. Everybody will know me. I was able to be somewhat known. I was able to land the sexiest bitch in that school at that particular time. Not to mention she's married to a gut-having, balding cuck at the moment with 2 kids by that cuck. I was able to land that. I shocked everyone. Everybody couldn't believe that we're gonna ignore this. Everybody couldn't believe that I was the guy to do it. The dweeb, the ex-geek, the dweeb, the nerd, the guy who wore 1 pair of shoes the entire freshman year? Not this guy. No, not him. Not the soft, square, light-skinned guy. He's soft. He doesn't have the Jordans. None of that. Long story short, yeah, I got known amongst the crowd, if you know what I mean. You guys know what I'm talking about. Hold on, let me rewind and give you guys an extra piece. I'm gonna just throw this in there for shits and giggles. So there was a guy, I remember, that looked exactly like Kodak Black back then, and Kodak Black wasn't even, you know. And I remember I was tonguing up the girl that I got that no one else could get, that people couldn't believe that I got. I was tonguing her up against the wall, squeezing ass, everything, didn't give a shit. In the same spot that all the popular people kicked it out. If you know what I mean, I bleeped that out. And he kept mad dogging me. You know, I was with my girl. I had to do something, right? I had to be that black guy, that popular black guy, right? Or someone who thought he was popular, because I wasn't really popular at all. You know, I had my curly fade. I had 4 earrings in my ear, you know, a loop, 2 diamonds on the top, mascaraed mustache. And he said, "Hey, why you looking at me, homie?" And I responded like, "You looking at me, motherfucker? I mean, you looking over here." He responds like, "Oh, nah, you gonna catch this fade. You ain't gonna keep disrespecting me and looking at me, my dude. It's over for you." So I said, "All right, you sure you want to do this? You sure you want to do it?" He's like, "Yeah, we about to get shit popping. Handball courts ASAP, homie." I said, "All right." I said, "Everybody come over here and watch this fake ass thug get his ass beat." So we go to the handball courts. Everybody's trying to, you know, my girl's trying to stop me, but she said, "Okay, you know, I gotta see if my guy can handle himself." We go to the handball courts. I can't remember my square off back then because it was probably different. I probably did some shit like this. You know, when you're young, you think this is a fighting style, but it's not, because you're not Thai boxing. You're just going like this or some shit. And we go to the handball courts, and I remember he swings and I back up and I take the wildest swing. Closed my eyes and I swung, and it connected. And I remember him literally spinning. I kid you not, he spinning and fell. And he got up, face was bloody. He charged me against the handball courts, tried to give me rabbit punches. I grabbed the top of his hair and I'm rabbit punching, I'm uppercutting, rabbit punching, uppercut, rabbit punching. Everybody broke us up. I was lucky enough to not get suspended, but I remember I whooped that fake thug's ass. I'm not gonna tell you guys all my fights, but I had lots of them. That was just one that I had to throw for little shits and giggles. And fast forward, I got those friends that I wanted. I got those friends that was gonna help me feel validated and help me feel cool, help me feel content, tap into my inner at that point in time. I wasn't enough. I wasn't enough for the, and I got those friends. And you know, we got real cool, we got real tight. It was one summer we got real tight. You know, we was hopping on the city bus around the city, walking everywhere, kicking it at the mall, trying to get bitches, making sure we had our latest gear on. And fast forward a little bit, we met these 3 chicks, right? Can't remember, I don't know if it was MySpace. That's how you met bitches back then, MySpace. We met these 3 bitches, and it was 3 of us. The homie that everybody thought was just the god, gang banger, bitch getter, tattooed, nose ring, blah blah blah. He got the best of the bitch. He got the top tier. The other homie got the bottom tier. I got the mid tier, of course. Long story short, we all end up, you know, them, blah blah blah, for a summer. My mom was always working, so there was never no parents at the house. I came from a single parent household, so we just spending the whole summer just these bitches, you know, having them over. Everybody's in a room, you know, my mom's room. They're using my room, or somebody's in the living room. I can't remember. I think it was my room. I think my mom's room was off limit. Yeah, my homie went into my sister's room. Other homie was outside. I was in my room banging. Long story short, we these bitches for a summer. But then we continue to these bitches after the summer. And oh, did you guys want me to keep going or no? Okay, so we continue to these bitches after the summer. And, you know, we begin to fall off. You know, once you're done with those summer flings, everything is done for, you know. Go back to school, get yourself a new guy, new blah, blah, blah. And there was this one particular bitch that I was, you know, kind of with. And one of the homies knew that. You know, I ended up smashing her, taking her down. I wasn't really attracted to her because she had a big-ass forehead. But I remember I smashed, went ahead, beat those in. Went ahead, put in the stroke game. Gave it a BBC, and or the junior BBC, and she got real sprung. You know, she called me every day on the house phone, called me every day, this and that, and I told her, I said, listen, I'm not gonna say no names, guys, because I can't give you that, but I said, listen, I said, I don't think I could do this anymore. I said, we're just gonna have to break up. Mind you, that was one of the only girls I actually broke up with in my life. I like bitches to break up with me, just because it seems like, you know, I'm less of an asshole if I do that. I said, yeah, this isn't gonna work. Like, you're not my type anymore, blah, blah, blah. She goes crazy, calls me crying after I hung up on her. Like, I can't believe you gonna do this to me. What the f? Like, I let you, blah, blah, blah. This and that. I'm like, I only talked to you because the homie, you were his homegirl, his girlfriend's homegirl, so that's the only reason I got at you. And, long story short, boom, we're done with the 3 bitches, this and that. So, one day she calls me like, yeah, I want to come out there to Lancaster. I'm trying to blah, blah, blah. Like, I know you don't want to anymore, but can I see you? Begging to come see me. I kept ignoring the calls. Told her, yeah, I didn't want to see it. The homie called me like, yeah, my, like, hey, she's trying to come over there with you, my. You gonna come over? You gonna come over? If you ain't gonna come over, let her come over there. Like, do something. She keep hitting me up, blah, blah, blah. She trying to kick it. You mind if she come over here? I was like, all right, cool. Let her come through. Y'all kick it. He calls me back literally 3 hours later. It was like, I was like, what's good? He's like, I smashed my. I was like, oh, you smashed? Now, mind you, one of his low tier bitch from the trio was already feeling me. This other girl was a 4th extend. She wasn't a part of that trio. She knew those chicks, but she wasn't like a part of that crew. But she knew those chicks because they all went to the same high school. He told me that he. So I was like, okay. So I said, oh, you. He's like, yeah, my was cold too. I said, it was hot. It was wet. He's like, yeah, that shit was fire. I said, oh, okay. I said, all right, hit you back. I don't even think I was comfortable saying back then. I probably wasn't. Because I didn't feel enough. I still don't feel enough. I'll never be enough for people. But who cares? I'm me. And I said, okay. I immediately hit up his girl. And, well, the girl he was with. And, if you speak too proper, people try to say you talking this and that. But now I don't care. I'm going to speak how I want with the proper etiquette and everything. But back then I gave a about that type of thing. That's what I meant by that statement. So, I went up, I hit up the girl that he was with, his little summer fling. I guess they was still talking here and there and everything like that. So I hit her up and I said, yo, are you still talking to? And she was like, yeah, but not like that. Why, what's up? I was like, remember when you was flirting with me? You said you wanted to come through, you was sending me titty pics through MySpace, this and that and everything like that. Like, are we able to kick it? And she was like, yeah, like, I'll catch the bus over there around such and such. Mind you, I had so much free time. My sister was always going with her friends. My mom was at work. I let her come through. And now, I definitely took one for the team because, keep it 100% real, I'm not attracted to women for the simple fact that my mom and my sister are women, and it's just something that's just been instilled in me since the 2nd, 3rd grade. I've always been attracted to women. So just for retaliation. And he, we used to call each other back then. So he called me up, was like, yeah, what'd you do today? This is how he talked to. This is exactly why I'm using this voice. Yeah, what'd you do today? I was like, shit, I kicked it with somebody, went ahead and got a little smash session in. We used to call it back then getting fresh. So I said, got fresh today. He's like, oh yeah. He's like, shit, who you? I was like, Tiffany. He was like, who? He's like, wait, which Tiffany? I was like, the Tiffany, the Tiffany that was a part of the crew. He's like, oh, you served? I was like, yeah, why? What's good? He's like, oh, nothing. He's like, shit, it's cool. He's like, hey, I'm gonna hit you back though. I got some shit to do. Mind you, it was me. It was a trio. It was him, me, and another guy. And the other guy called me like, he's like, hey, you Tiffany? I was like, yeah. I said, he old girl. I thought that it was cool that I, went ahead and got him plus one of his bitches. And he was like, yeah, he real upset about that, my dude. I said, why? He old girl, and I was cool with it. How come he was pissed that I her? So from that point on, shit was never the same, but we kicked it. But it was never 100%. I started to feel like an outcast. I started to feel like I wasn't thug enough. I wasn't enough. I felt like that I had to reprove my against people I thought that accepted me. And long story short, let's fast forward to the fair. let's rewind real quick. Let's rewind and I'll give you guys this last little thing. So they came up with this gang called, I wanted to fit in. That's all I wanted to do growing up, is be a thug, be somebody that was respected, feared, blah blah blah. It was never me, but I just tried to do it because I thought it was cool and I thought I could get bitches, and I thought that I would be cool. So I went ahead, you know. It was like, yeah, we just gonna let you walk on the hood. You know, you just gotta bang it, throw it up, do the handshake, come to the hood meetings, blah blah blah. Went to tons of house parties with him. I always felt out of place at these house parties because this just wasn't in my character, but I tried to fake it so hard because I wanted to be a part of this. I wanted to be, I wanted to be extremely on that level. And I always felt out of place, but I just did it anyway. House parties, went to them, got that ass backed up on them, you know. Went ahead, shadow ass grabbed. If you guys don't know what shadow ass grabbing is, you literally never been to a house party where it was dark. You just grab the plumpest ass and you're gonna get away with it because it's a dark house party, so you could do what you want. And you know, plenty of them got shot up. There's so many times I ran for my life. People come in there shooting up the party. I'm trampling over bitches. I'm losing razors, cell phones, everything. The last straw for me when it came to the house parties, when I was hiding behind trash cans and people were in the neighborhood looking for people to shoot. I was like, yo, this shit is getting too deep for me. I'm not a thug. I'm not a thug. I can't do this shit. But I'm gonna still rock with these people because these are my dogs. I'm gonna still rock with these people, still try to have fun with them every once in a while. Fast forward to the fair. Mind you, these dudes already kind of fell in a certain way because I wasn't hood. I wasn't out here trying to bang the shot. You feel me? Like I wasn't doing it. I wasn't showing everybody what it do. I wasn't putting work in. You feel me? I didn't earn my stripes because I walked on. So basically, here comes the fair. They're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be the house up there. I'm gonna need y'all to step y'all hood shit up. Like y'all gotta bang for this shit. You know, it was a hood meeting. Y'all gotta bang for this shit, blah blah blah. Y'all gotta bang for it. If y'all ain't really with it, let us know now. We need riders for the set, blah blah blah. I'm like, okay. Damn, can I do this? I still felt out of place, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna rock with it. I'm gonna do what I do. If it comes down to it, I'll throw down for the set. And when it all came down to it, when funk really hit the fan, I didn't feel like my life was worth fighting over Lancaster streets. You know, I come from the city, and the fact that these guys were literally fighting over streets that were owned by Caucasian people that had bread, and that literally your next door neighbor was a Mexican American or a Spanish person or an Asian person or a white person, this and that. I just thought that it was funny. So there's an alley and people are just like, the guy that was with me, everybody respected the dude with the tats and nose ring, this and that. So he's like, I'm gonna show these a ride. I ain't playing no games. He goes over there, start throwing pitchforks, rocks, everything. Everybody's throwing rocks. Nobody actually engages. Then he like chases them down the alley. Everybody thought this dude was the ultimate rider. Very self-hating. You don't know what you're talking about. Get that ass banned. You don't understand the story when you hear one. Ma, start banning these out of here that can't take a story for what it is. You dumb. You could never understand the layers of you dumb idiot. Anyways, so he's running down the shit. He's like, yeah, I'm about to show you ultimate rider. Everybody rode this dude's dick for doing that. Everybody rode this dude's for doing that shit. They thought he's the ultimate gangster. I guess I didn't put in enough work that night, and it was like, all right, man. After everybody met up, all right, man, I'll take you home, blah blah blah. We about to ride on these, blah blah blah. I guess they had guns and everything in the car. They're like, yeah, we gonna drop you off though. I just felt like so unhood when they said this, because I never really was anyway. You know, I was always that square in that hood environment in LA, and then I don't know, I was always that Game Boy playing when everybody else was being extremely and shit. But I just wasn't raised like that. I wasn't raised to be a goon. And Said, we gonna take you home, you ain't built for this. I was like, nah, y'all. I said, you know, I was trying to talk extra. I was like, man, y'all really gonna take me home though? They said, yeah, you ain't built for this, blah, blah, blah. We gonna take you home, we'll with you tomorrow. That night, I kid you not, that night, they got pulled over with that gun in the car. I'm not making this up. That night, they literally got pulled over. They had the gun in the car. My other homie went to jail. I guess he bailed out because the gun wasn't here. Back then, gun laws weren't really strict like that. Like in like 2009 and shit like that. Wait, was it 2009? Nah, it wasn't. It was like 06, 05, something like that. Gun laws weren't crazy like that. So the moral of this story is, oh yeah, after that, hold on. The way it ended is they stopped with me. After that, we weren't friends no more. They didn't hit me up. We stopped kicking it. We didn't hang out. That was it. Finito. It was done. The moral of this story is don't try to be something that you're not to please other people. Being you, whether it's looked at as weird, soft, not with the norm, or it's against the norm, there's nothing wrong with that. When you spend too many years trying to be something else or someone else, you're going to lose a lot of yourself. Yeah, you're going to learn because you're going to realize one day that you were fake, but some people don't tap out of that. The moral of the story is be yourself. Don't allow other people to dictate who you think that you are, who you should be, or what's cool, or what's swaggy, or whatever it is. And just be you. No individuals, no human beings are worth you coming out of character for you to only have to spend years of your life rebuilding or coming back to somebody that you already were before you dealt with those people where you felt like you had to step out of character to become. And that's my story for you guys. All right, so this story when I was 18, 17, and I was going to a new high school because I didn't really give a damn about my grades. So I went to a different high school, whatever. And I go in, and the first girl I see she looks light-skinned, but I'm not really sure if she's light-skinned or if she's Hispanic. I don't really know. But she was light-skinned. She had a nice little cute ass on her, cute tits. Ass was perfect in those kind of jeans. It wasn't baby fat, but it was like, it's hard to explain these type of jeans. I was staring at her. She was staring at me. I don't know what happened, how we exchanged notes or something like that. We started exchanging notes back and forth. We got cool. But before we got cool, she had B cups back then. But before we got cool, everybody was telling me like, yo, like, she's fine, but she's a hoe, blah, blah, blah. She's fine, but she's a hoe. And me, let's dial back. Pre-Dalauan Sparrow, Pre-LTG. So we get to talking and everything like that. We get to kicking it, hanging out on lunch and everything like that. We're all over each other, lovey-dovey. We're all over each other. This was, remember I told you the story about the bitch that I was like, she said she blacked out or whatever and woke up and she was naked, or last thing she remembers is a lamp turning off and her pants getting slid off, and then she just passed out with a room with two dudes. So this is the girl. I got another story about her. Not the one that I caught in the store in the mall. This is a different one. So let's fast forward to like towards the end of our relationship. After me forgiving her for basically having a train ran on her, and me forgiving her and acting like a simp and everything like that. So there was another time. She was becoming more distant. We used to walk to school together every day. I used to go pick her up at her grandma's house, walking, obviously. I hopped on a bus. I used to pick her up at her grandma's house. Every day we was kicking it before the morning or whatever. We would smash before we went to school. Mind you, this chick got my name tattooed 2 weeks after we got together. 2 weeks after we were together, she got my name tattooed right on the base of her, like right there. I don't know if you, like at the lower part of the groin area. Everybody's like, man, what'd you do to her? You got her sprung, blah, 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 whatever. But then after that, she was doing a bunch of ratted ass shit. I got so many stories about this chick, but she's the chick that basically like kind of like changed me and like turning me on to knowing that chicks were foul. So we're fast forwarding towards the end of our relationship, right? And I got kicked out of this high school over this chick too. So Basically, everything's smooth and shit like that. Then all of a sudden, I'm not able to reach her. She's not home anymore. I'm calling her. There was no sales. I'm calling her. Nah, she got that shit covered up. She's not answering. I'm like, man, what the f-? I'm calling her. Boom, boom, boom. Finally, fast forward, I just said, f-. I just went to school after knocking on her door a gang of times. Like, man, are you in there? Are you in there? Knocking. Hello? Shit I would never do today. This is 2000s. This is early 2000s. Not no 90s. Come on, my guy. Who was in high school in the 90s? All right, so I'm knocking on the door and everything like that. She's not answering. This happened for like days straight. Mind you, let me tell you something about this girl. Obviously, she grew out of it as she became a woman. But when I was with her, let me tell you something about this girl. This girl had the foulest vag on the planet. And the reason why I dealt with it is because I was young. I didn't know like how to tell a to clean herself. Or, like I didn't know. She had one of the stinkiest ever. Like the odor would. If you ever see the cartoons where the green shit would like the green mist would come away from people, like dead ass. You see my hamper right there? In the room, right? Hold on. You see my hamper right there? I could smell her in class. She'd be sitting up like this, leaning against the desk, and you could smell her from here all the way over there. There would be times where she would come over, and we'd be in the room kicking it, and my sister would come in the room like, start spraying shit, lighting candles in my room, doing Hail Marys and shit. I kid you not. And I didn't know how to tell her was so foul. But I still with her because I was a young ass. I didn't know how to tell her about her, and I didn't know about certain things. So, yeah, her was foul. I got other stories about church bitches and all types of shit. I got plenty of stories. Anyways, so let's just focus on this one. Fast forward, whatever. It says in a relationship, I'm still sticking with her through her rat stories about her talking about she blacked out and was in a room when she blacked out. She woke up in a tub naked, blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, I forgave her for all that because I'm a simp at this point in time, right? I'm a simp. I'm a poor excuse of a young guy. Not even a poor excuse. I'm new to the world. Everything's fresh. You see how I'm talking? Like nothing's bothering me. Like everything's great, blah, blah, blah. Let's fast forward to that last day she didn't answer the phone. And I walked to school alone after walking to school for months and months with this girl. She knew my mom, my sister, everybody. And we get to class, right? We had one class. Actually, we had two classes together. We had industrial tech, or I think it was auto shop. No, it was auto shop, not industrial tech. We had auto shop together, and then we had science together. So in auto shop, I see her in the class. She comes in late to school. I'm already in class. I'm looking around like, where is this? At this point, I'm furious. I'm like, what the fuck is this bitch at? What the fuck? Like, she didn't answer my mother calls. I'm just pissed off. I'm like boiling in the head. And she comes in class with a bag of Snickers. And she just passing out the Snickers to every dude in the class. And skips me. I'm thinking like, all right, well, the bitch she's obviously going to give me some Snickers, right? I'm her boyfriend. She's walking around, passing Snickers to everybody in the class, sitting on dudes' lap in front of me, sitting on multiple dudes' laps in front of me, flirting, just treating me like a complete dog. Like I'm just nothing, like I'm just a worthless fuck. And I'm just looking at her like, I was like lip talking. I was like, you really gonna sit on people's lips, buddy? And at this point in time, I'm already upset. I'm already just flabbergasted. I'm already like mentally, like my temper is uncontrollable at this point in time in my life. I didn't know how to deal with these certain emotions. I didn't know how to partake in these certain things. I didn't know that women were complete skeezers and rats. I wasn't sure about this. This was new. I thought every woman that you got in a relationship with was wifey material. I thought everybody was wifeable. I didn't know about Jezebels and rats and hoes, right? I mean, I had an idea, but I thought that those things could be ignored. You know, I thought, you know, those type of things I thought can change. So I see her in science class, and she's still acting shady. She sits right behind me in science class because that's where her seats were. We had assigned seats, obviously. We made sure ours were back to back. We were inseparable. This isn't even all the stuff this chick ever did to me. So I'm so angry, I kid you not. My writing looked like a demon did it. I'm writing all over the paper. I'm like, I'm a lefty too, so my shit's even more sloppier than normal. I'm writing like, but the rest of the shit while you sit on people's lips. I didn't say back then. I wasn't comfortable saying it. My dialect wasn't 100%. I was very quiet. I wasn't comfortable with myself. I was a totally different human being. So I'm sitting there writing, scribbling all over the paper. What the and she just responded back. She'll toss the note nonchalantly. Here's the note. So I'm throwing it in the back, and she just goes beep. Every time she does it nonchalantly, no stress, no anger. She was like, yeah. I would say, where the f were you last night? You don't answer the phone, you don't answer the thing, you don't answer nothing, like you've been missing. She writes back like, I kissed blah, blah, blah. It was some dude that went to our school. She told me she kissed some dude named Ivy. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, you kissed Ivy too? I was like, everybody told me you was a rat, and you was making me look like a fool anyway. So I was already pissed off her, you know, actually admitting to kissing this lame ass dude, that I'm pretty sure is just some short, fat, bloated ass that looks like shit. But she told me she kissed that dude. Then she told me she cheated on me over the weekend with another dude, and I just blew up. After she told me that, my teacher's name was Mr. Van Zandt. After she told me that, I was like, Mr. Van Zandt, get me out of the class. I can't sit next to this. No, this bitch. And I just start going off in front of the whole class. Everybody's like, oh, Priscilla, we knew you was a hoe. We knew you was a hoe, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Jerry. Like, everybody, the whole class is in shambles. It's rowdy. She's like, you bitch ass. I was like, you stupid ass bitch. Everybody knew you was a hoe. And your stink, bitch. You. So they call the security. Whole class is throwing papers. It's like a movie, I swear, I kid you not. Everybody throwing papers, pencils. Everybody's going nuts. It's crazy. Boom, security guard comes. He's like, come up out of here. He's like, get out. He pulls me out. This is the most simplest part, right? He pulls me out. I start socking the soda machine. I'm like, boom, 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 boom. I'm like hooking the soda machine, swinging at it, uppercutting it, giving it body shots. I'm just fucking up the soda machine, right? And he's like, son, stop it. He's like, girls are gonna do you wrong. Women aren't as perfect as they seem. He's like, son, you're young, you can recover from this. And he just grabs me, and I just like start hugging the dude, and I was just crying like a bitch. I was just like, what the fuck? I can't believe she did this shit to me. Like, I love her. He's like, I know, bro. He's like, I've been there. He's like, I've been there, brother. But he's like, these things are gonna happen to you relentlessly. This is a part of life. And I'm just like crying, and I'm pissed off, and I get shipped to the office, and basically I got expelled from that school. And that was the end of me and her. Obviously, into some couple of years later, after she had a kid, then she just couldn't get off the D, wanted the dick over and over again for years and years after that. While she married the guy that she cheated on me with, she basically was still me while she was in a marriage. Would I do that now? No, but I was young and I had resentment. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna while you're married. Of course, the stench and everything was cleaned up by then. She was a cleaned up, but she was still me while she was married. She married the guy when she was 18. They're still together to this day. There's your story. Yeah, exactly. If you've never cried over a chick, you're gonna regret it one day, because you're gonna wish you did it at a younger age, because there's gonna be a out there someday that makes you cry. Somebody banned this fake ass dude J-Chain for this fake ass statement. I never had a threesome in my life, and I wouldn't perform one either. Get that ass banned. Thank you. You cried. Of course, you cannot. If you couldn't trust women like in the early 2000s and 2000s, you're not gonna be able to trust no chick in the 19s and the teens. It's not gonna happen. Just gotta accept it. The women are a tainted thing now. There's gonna be something about these chicks you don't like. You're seeing rich get over. What makes you think your ass has a shot? Good luck. Like I said, the only type of chicks you can trust are the ones that wear Zelda shirts. If she doesn't own a Nintendo shirt, you can't trust her.